Hello again, welcome on week 6 of 50 on the project of rebuilding my life. So for today's episode, I must say that I have been looking forward all week because this week I decided to start something I think that was in my mind also for a long time. It's true that creating content here on YouTube has been, I won't say complicated, but rather easy because it's a free space where in this format of raw videos I can explain, share with you whatever my thoughts are at that moment. And it has been a super nice exercise, I must say, that I encourage everybody to do. These videos at the time you are watching this have not even 10 views. And that's one of the interesting things. And I think that the main topic of their realization in this week's main subject, who has been that I started to publish content every day on TikTok and IG. And for me, it was quite exciting. It all started as a challenge because I think that's today's video is the 5th video. So I think that it started on Tuesday. So it looks like it was a really long time ago and it was only 5 days ago. So I think that the pressure has been on. And for someone who likes living under pressure, the amount has been enough, I will say. But I think that it was something that I needed to do too, because sharing these kind of long format videos, as I mentioned on my first videos, were more about sharing my journey with the old version of myself. Because what I would like, or what I wish I had, is someone telling me the things I need to know to move forward. And this kind of exercise is kind of backwards, meaning I would love to see in week 50, which will be my birthday, if I'm not mistaken, in 2026. And I think that it will be for me something that I would love to be able to sit with my family and watch, because only getting a picture of my way of thinking, the doubts I was having at the time, if everything at the end went well or not, I think that it will be a super comparison. So I started this with this red notebook, as you might know. As in French, I remember that they call it cahier d'abord, which is every salesman has like a little notebook where they write every day what they have been living on the boat. And I think that that was the kind of thoughts or example I was wanting to have when looking backwards in my life and being able to track those specific moments. And instead of being able to do it as I'm doing right now on YouTube as a weekly basis, it was also interesting to do it on Instagram and TikTok, because I think that the way the content is consumed is totally different. And I think that that was also mainly the point of having to go into an exercise of having to edit videos, something that I'm not totally doing in this raw version. And it's kind of complicated. That's at the end one of the things I want to share, and I think was mainly about choosing the personality you want to have. And that's totally related with what I have been saying in the past videos, meaning there's a moment when you already know the answer and you try to make yourself buy another version. So in my case, this was something really similar to that, because I already knew that I was willing to build content, and what I only did was procrastinate. But what I also wanted to do was build the kind of content that I will consume. And this is kind of the specific subject. Actually, when I'm on those social media watching YouTube videos, the kind of content I consume is not exactly this one. And that's kind of the idea I want to share with you and put on the table, is sometimes we are not buying or watching the content we would like to watch. And that's part of the system, I think, because dumb scrolling is easier than selecting the content and picking the content. So my way of consuming it has always been in kind of 3 or 4 categories, which has been always motivational videos, business videos, self-growth videos, inspirational videos. So at the end, placing my content in those 4 kind of elements, or at least putting my feet on 3/4, is also important for me, because what I wish is for those videos to give the kind of feedback, push, or not even push you to the action, but push you to the reflection, meaning having to reflect on a journey, or having to sit and think, or sit and listen to someone spending 10, 20, 30 minutes in a video talking about their life is not something easy. A lot of times we do it on a podcast, and we open the podcast, we start doing something else, and we lose sight of what we were listening. And that is one of the problems mainly we have, actually, and I'm not trying to correct it by making this content. As I was mentioning, this is for me, but it's true that when entering Instagram and TikTok, I felt that specific pressure of living in a world where content creators are really, really good, man. It has been crazy. I'm not only talking about using software such as DaVinci or Adobe to edit. It's not only about the edits. It's about the storytelling, the quality of the hooks, how fast they are able to come with their own personality. This is something that is making me think a lot, meaning when you start building your videos, you know who you are, but you don't know who you want to be in front of the camera. And that's sometimes what generates a different kind of personality. Meaning, if I turn this off, you will have someone sitting in the beach saying almost the things and reasoning as I'm doing right now. And that's the kind of definition I will always want to have. Meaning, when my friends or family are watching these videos, they are recognizing me. Meaning, this is the only version I want to show. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, interviews, whatever. Because at the end, if there's a day when I lose this, I will feel miserable. And don't get me wrong, one thing is to understand that process is also something related with this kind of content creation, meaning my version will grow through time. I say grow because it's complicated pushing myself as I'm doing almost every day. First, creating weekly content on YouTube, telling my story, spending a lot of time with this red notebook, having to read content, quality content and quality readings almost every week, having to go to the gym, using my computer that is right behind the camera to build my business in public. Guys, the journey is crazy, and I know it, but it's true that one of the things and the main advantages I have by not being working 9 to 5 is to use my time otherwise. And I know that I'm pushing myself sometimes too hard, as this Sunday, it's 10 p.m. I haven't even prepared lunch. I have my girlfriend waiting in the bedroom while I'm filming this content, and it must be complicated, and I know it. But it's true that I won't be able, or I'm not able to live in my body not doing these kind of actions, because the things that scare me the most is being chased or by my oldest version. I don't want that. It's not something totally against my old version. I was a nice guy. It doesn't change a lot. I'm still a nice guy, but I was naive in some things, trying and pushing forward sometimes too much, not having a clear idea, even though I thought I had a clear idea. And I want to keep improving, not only because of me, but because of the people I have around me. So this is the kind of logic. I don't know how much I will push myself on creating this kind of content on social media, but at least I'm leaving it okay only because of one reason. because it's totally aligned with the main purpose I have right now. As you might remember, one of the things I was telling you about was that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And the main idea I realized while having to start those videos on LinkedIn, on Instagram and TikTok has been that I'm already an entrepreneur. I don't need to make myself into entrepreneurship. I already am. I totally forgot things I did because I was so focused with the one entrepreneur opportunity I had that took me 3.5 years, which is a lot for someone that is only 29 and that stopped his studies or graduated with 22 years old for the master's degree. Professional life has only got 7 years for me. Using those 7 years with 3.5 years of entrepreneurship is a lot. And I always consider this to be one of the reasons I was going slower than my other friends, people who are buying themselves houses with their girlfriend, etc. And I always thought that I was kind of behind because I spent those 3.5 years doing something that didn't totally went as I expected. But to be sincere, I started entrepreneurship with 21. I forgot that I started a business company called Offertis with two guys that were incredible guys here from the Alicante University. One of them is in Facebook, Switzerland. The other one, Alberto, is in Switzerland for Facebook. But I think that now he changed to Google. So for you to get the level of the kind of person he is, a really smart one. And the other one was Alex Rubio. And I remember that at that time we needed to stop because he was hired by Adidas and needed to go to Germany. And I was doing this with 21 years old. So this is not about bragging, but it's sometimes I'm so lost in the day-to-day and the exercise, the challenge, the self-growth, the trying to push myself so hard that I forgot that I did a lot of things already. So I'm kind of a result of having failed Offertis with 21, having failed La Alicantina with 24, having failed recently in December Helpiers, and some other ventures I'm not able to talk for now, but I have always been an entrepreneur, even though I thought that being an entrepreneur always meant starting a company, which the proof I did more than once. But as I was mentioning, it's more about who I am. So I'm able to say right now that since I'm 19 in Toulouse with Pablo Guijarro, one of the friends, I think that tomorrow is his birthday, even though I know that he's not watching my videos, but tomorrow is his birthday. I need to say happy birthday to him. And we started a company called Smart Pool, which had one principle to get a specific kind of net that connected to bracelets, I think it was, electronical bracelets. Whenever you had some vitals, health vitals, vital signals, breathe, etc., that were missing, meaning that you were drowning, that net got up and saved you. And this was the idea I presented to a board of entrepreneurs in Toulouse. Funny story, because I need to mention it. We lost. We got a little prize, I think it was 300 euros. And we lost against a chewing gum that had the form of a triangle. To tell you that sometimes in life, being an entrepreneur is being told by people that are less valuable or smart than you, or with less practice in building businesses, that your business is worse than someone else's one. So this is the key idea I want to transmit today. I think that what is truly important, as I was mentioning, is that I'm totally aligned, at least today, with who am I being on a day-to-day basis, with who I want to be in the future, and that has been the result mainly of 6 weeks, guys. 6 weeks. It's true that the journey hasn't ended. It's going to be longer than that, but I feel the process and I feel the results already. So this is the kind of thing I'm sure I'm doing okay in some way, meaning the creation of content is totally directed to keep on building what I want to build, show other people who I am, but also the way of doing things. I think that at the end is not, the message is much more important than the messenger. So if this kind of content has only one thing or one main purpose to accomplish, is that the message is so rightfully said that is being transmitted perfectly to the listener and is giving value to them at least. Because the fact that I'm the messenger in this case doesn't matter. The important thing is that hopefully you got one of the messengers giving the correct or good message for you. So this is the only thing that I'm accomplishing in these videos, maybe for you who's watching, but mainly for me who's speaking out loud the things that I'm thinking. So guys, I just wanted to say thank you. I don't know if this video is going to be watched by more people. I officially published the YouTube link on my channels. If not, I don't mind, because I will be here on week 7 telling you how the business is going forward, and I will be able to tell you what is the thing I'm building and pitch it to you, because that is the thing you are going to see on the next videos. You are going to see a mix of business, self-reflection, someone passionate doing what he loves and what he thinks is right. So guys, thanks a lot for sticking with me another week, and see you next Sunday. Bye.